In the process of sharing music and writing music and performing together, another process was underway, and that was we developed feelings for each other, which is not so uncommon, but the fact that he was a married man and I was a single woman made it more of a challenge. And it was exhilarating at first. I think that, passion drives a lot of things, and the passion in a relationship like that that's mostly covert, undercover, so to speak, and out of sight of other people, can be very exciting and stimulating, at the same time very difficult to carry on. I went into it knowing that it was kind of against the grain of how I had been brought up and taught, but because I loved him, I justified that in my mind. And also, being a musician and being a woman musician, looking for that missing piece, that person to compliment you, and also finding a man who quote unquote got who I was a pretty huge thing for me. All along, I knew that it was wrong. After a band practice and our only time together, we were making love, and I broke inside. I don't know really any other way to describe that. I emotionally broke and knew that something bigger was happening, and I knew that the relationship could never be the same. I kind of woke up and sobered up and began the path, if you want to call it that, of reconstructing my life and going forward. I talked to God a whole lot. There really wasn't a whole lot of other people that I trusted or other people that I could talk to out of my shame and my grief and my pain. And I talked to God. And then I learned how to listen to Him. And when you really begin to hear what God is saying to you, it changes the whole game. The next step is taking small steps, learning to do that. It didn't happen in a day. I didn't enter the relationship in a day. It was a long process of getting into it, and it took a process of getting out of it. To be able to shed the dishonesty and the shame was one of the most difficult things to do, and also one of the most freeing things to do. And not just spiritually, just as a human being. I don't ever want to live in dishonesty again. It's not what you think it is. It's not worth it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the Bible talks about a man whose mind is divided. There's no such thing as loving half a man. We as people allow our feelings to override wisdom, and it's kind of like when you write an email and you hit send before you put it in your drafts folder and let it sit for a minute and you have a chance to think about it. We really should have a pause button. To anybody who is considering, thinking about, in the middle of doing it, run the other way. Run the other way. That's really all I know to say.